Hey, what is going on, truth lovers? And welcome back to the cross-examination. So, let's get this ball rolling. Let the tunes begin! Okay, so the clue there... Yeah, let's see if anybody's jumping out here. No one else about. Okay. Sure. Oh, tricky. I think we're just gonna have to press.
What do you think? If you're unable to sway the jury during this cross-examination, I'm afraid...
That his fate will be sealed? Yeah, they're sure to find him guilty. So one way or another, I have to expose an undeniable inconsistency in the inspector's testimony. Damn, yeah, nothing's jumping out so far. Let's press it up. Hold it! A light fog, you say? Well, light for London. You can see the opposite side of the street for once. Not much farther, though. Hey, we're onto something, baby. That's light, is it? Around these parts, yeah. Not something I'd expect from a Japanese fella like yourself to know, of course. I've read that London is famous for its fog, but in my country people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. How quaint. Yeah, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticise, as I expect that you can appreciate. I see. At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm. Indeed, the other day I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. We should definitely remember to stop, look and listen. Yep, sound advice there, lad. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. Okay, so nothing changed there. Hold it! Let's try it again. How are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend, because that is what the witnesses to this crime have told us. Ah, yes. He mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
That's right. One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
Yeah, he's definitely going to turn this case around, but we need to get to the point where we can actually get him in. That is correct, Mom. What a tiny slap! Then we must hear their testimony.
The prosecution will of course call them to the stand, should it be necessary.
But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. Oh yeah, good shout, mate. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen.
I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas streetlights.
Oh yeah, good point. But wait, isn't it the policeman's job to do that? What if he hadn't gotten around to doing that street yet? Ah.
The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Quite. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
What? Judge has gone full-blown Kingdom Hearts on it. Which means we really need to hear those witness statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe we'll be able to.
It seems the counsel for the defence is taking stock. Continue with your testimony.
Okay. Hold it. From behind, you say? Yep, that's obvious. It's in the picture.
That's right, as you can see from this print. Yes, quite so. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back. You say this poor woman remains in a critical condition? Comatose, no less.
I'm afraid so, my lord, yes. She's been treated at Bart's. Hey, actually name dropped a hospital. Good lad. I was hopeful that she'd come round before the trial started so I could take a statement, but it wasn't to be.
Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems.
Slap.
On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. All thanks to that damn Herlock Sholmes.
Your force of tone is seriously undermined by their disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid.
Is he cutting our eyes? Why does this guy hate Japanese people so much? Not cool, bro. Press it. Come on, we got to shake something out of this tree. His belongings,
I think you'll find it's all there in the photo of the crime scene.
3 books and a knife.
Yes, the 3 books on the floor.
That's right, my lord. Second-hand books they were. Irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course. Don't know if I'd say irreparably. Stick it on the radiator for a bit.
The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand, which means the other hand was for stabbing.
He's very clever, isn't he?
What do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that he had his hands full with the books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back?
That must be what happened, my lord, yes. No, do not assume. Whew, man. We got to look at this picture. No, wrong button. The defendant apparently visits a second-hand bookshop on a daily basis. And claims a new victim daily. Yeah, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
Okay, an actual compliment. The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling of those musty old books. And no window, that's nuts. Can you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again, I'm afraid.
Calabash.
The closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings is this place here, Bourbon Books. A little place on the corner of Briar Road and Meersham Street. As it happens, the accused is currently living in lodgings on the other side of Briar Road at the opposite end, which means it doesn't take a genius to work out the route he would have taken home.
Straight line, baby.
Something like this.
Okay, updated. Ah, so potentially useful there.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would have certainly passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
I think that what the inspector has just told us could turn out to be of vital importance.
Yeah, I agree.
The most important point that the inspector just made being safety save.
Yeah. Clouded cockador. Your books, we got it. The bookshop's name. May I ask you a favour?
What?
Please give me a bit of fish. Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony, please? I believe it may be of vital importance.
Maybe.
Oh, well, I mean, yes, it could be a very important clue.
Very well, not that I can see it being of any great significance, but please revise your testimony accordingly. Yes, sir, my lord, whatever you say.
Could the man be any more sardonic? Throwing out words like sardines, bourbon books, then you know. Ooh, maybe we should press it first. We don't want to lose a life needlessly.
Hold it.
So the shop is called Bourbon Books, is it?
That's right, that's the closest second-hand bookshop to the accused lodgings. And to get from there back to his room.
Yeah. Got ya. If I could just confirm one point. Can we be sure that the defendant really did visit Bourbon Books on the day in question?
Well, we haven't actually confirmed it, no. You haven't confirmed it? Why the devil not, Inspector? Well, the thing is, the shopkeeper's gone on a trip, you see. Left the morning after the incident to collect more stock, I'm told.
So someone left a day after murdering that woman? We got a new prime suspect.
So we haven't been able to ask the bloke if the accused visited his shop on the day in question or not. So we are guessing everything here, Your Honour. But please make him guilty.
Well, in that case, what did the defendant himself have to say about it?
No recollection.
What? He doesn't remember?
According to the statement he made at the time, the accused has no recollection of where he'd been.
Oh yeah, wasn't he just screaming yes and I agree to every question? Of course he doesn't.
The bloke clearly has his head in the clouds whenever he's walking about town. He claims he just wanders into whatever bookshop he happens to be passing and rarely notices the name. I should say the man ought to learn to look where he's going at the very least.
So, it's just as I thought then.
Is something the matter?
Inspector, you may continue with your testimony.
Well, wait, that's a wrong voice completely. Oops. Okay. Hit him with the second-hand book receipt. Okay, we got music stoppage. If I could just stop you there, Inspector.
What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
This is a receipt that we found in his room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of 3 second-hand books.
And you found that in the accused's room, did you?
Yeah, but the point is not where the receipt is found, but the name of the shop printed on it.
Go on.
Smash it down. No time for silly slaps. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your Books? Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Your Books. Yes, my lord. So, he did indeed purchase a number of books at a second-hand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books. All the books, eh? What?
Inspector, do you know of this other bookshop?
Yes, sir. Your Books is another second-hand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that I'm sick of saying books, sir. Well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it. Hell yeah, never assume. We're in court. But that, in fact, is the bookshop which the defendant visited on the day in question. And this receipt proves it. You shut your damn vampire mouth.
Yes, for what difference it makes. Whatever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Really? Why's that? I disagree. I mean, after all,
I have the street map here if that might be of help.
Oh, yes, thank you. Wait, but meanwhile, the deaf guy isn't hearing a single word of this. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yes, he would almost certainly have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, your books, it very may well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all. Could that be true?
My, it rather depends on where this other bookshop is, but I do declare it may be a possibility.
Is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said? Absolutely, it absolutely could be right. I'm definitely fairly sure.
Inspector, where is this your books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It is currently 5 miles away, sir. It turns out that your books is just here on the next corner of Meersham Street going east.
Surely he would have gone down Calabash. Sweet. Slap it, and there you have it, as you can clearly see now. Oh. Yep, could still have chosen to walk the murder way.
My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms.
Where'd you get another glass and bottle?
To your future career in the circus.
Shut up.
Oh, you can put that glass down now, or I'll put it down for you.
I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accuser's coming home from your books instead of Bourbon Books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed.
Oh man, that's a fat yawn. I'm wondering if that's my first ever yawn. Not in my life, randomly mid-episode, I mean.
Yes, thank you, Inspector.
No, I remember being hella tired playing that random... What was that game called? The Room. That was awesome. Ugh. Swirl it.
Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend.
Oh man, with his bare hand?
Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis.
Ha!
As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
Oh, she's hella going guilty. What did I say, eh? I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon, terribly sorry, but would you mind repeating that?
We mustn't give up.
What do you mean?
If the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may well decide that he's guilty.
Ah, she's absolutely right.
We must think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very, very carefully.
Oh god. Why, the lives appearing. What time are we on? Right, seeing as this has automatically led us into it, we may as well just raise the objection. Yeah, because there is every chance he didn't, and so far they've just been assuming every single thing in this case. So, yeah. Throw your hands out wide, take your biggest, deepest breath and scream it. The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Uh-oh.
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yes. You can see what I mean on this map. He could have gone that way, Looney Tunes style, when returning from your books to his lodgings. He could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution, however, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. Nice, now we get to point out the obvious. If the defendant used these streets, look what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Where the X is, it's pretty much on the corner. So he would at least see it.
Objection!
Objection!
Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way round.
But if he's not a local boy, he might not know the back streets or whatever you'd say it.
On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home?
To get some fish and chips on the way.
The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't, in other words. The accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime.
Okay. But, aha, yes, I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask him which route he took home. Perfect. Don't say no. Let's bloody do it. I'm sick of assuming stuff.
I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection.
Oh, what?
That's right, as I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. He says he doesn't remember where he was, or which route he took home, or who he stabbed.
God damn it, I don't believe it! Stop waving. Do not bow!
I thank you, my learned friend, and suggested we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say you, insightful jurors?
Okay, so we raised an objection, but we have got this far and not lost a life. And this would be a lot of speech just to take a life off us. Oh man, they hate us. That guy seemed alright. He doesn't. Oh no, and he's head juror, right?
I agree with him, wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Does this mean?
We members of the jury are completely convinced now.
This is bad.
Very well, in that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
No,
Guilty.
this is bad.
Guilty.
No, he was half smiling.
Guilty.
Guilty.
Hey, got his voice right. Ding, 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 ding. No, Judge, give us a chance.
It would appear the jury's leaning is unanimous.
Oh, maybe we don't safety save here.
To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country admirably.
Damn. No, not yet. This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way. I have to turn this around somehow.
Those are the eyes of Quarry not yet willing to give up and die.
That's it, mate. Tighten up the lawyer's armband.
So I presume you intend to wield your rights again in this trial. Rights of the defense written into antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago.
Oh yeah, the summation examination. Call it antiquated if you will, but we're bringing it out again, baby. It's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Will the judge let us get away with it twice?
Very well, Counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his onkus refusal to throw in his alley.
Very well then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty.
Nice. Whew. Perfect. Right, guys, this is our final chance to save this case. And if we do this, then we might actually get a chance to bring the witnesses in. But let's do that next time. So, if you like the looks of any of the suggested videos flooding your screen at this very moment, then of course check some of them out and let me know what you thought. You know I love that damn lawyer feedback, honey. If you've missed any of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles so far, catch up. And of course, guys, as always, I hope you're well. Thanks for watching, and see you again next time.